I would be in his NICU room holding him, reading a book on the LSATs and kind of starting the process of studying at that time. It obviously worked out and I got to spend time with him as well as work on studying for the LSAT exam.
Interesting times, right? For sure. And how about your medical experience? How has that impacted your choice of law, the law that you practice? Or, I think that would kind of set you apart in the field, right? You have this medical experience. You could combine that now with a legal degree.
Absolutely. The benefit of having the medical knowledge moving into the law and using that background to practice law is a huge benefit for me in the sense that most of my clients have been injured in some manner, whether it be in a car crash, a slip and fall, some other way. Understanding what their medical conditions are, what their treatment looks like, what their potential treatment could look like down the road, or where their injury could develop, what other issues could they potentially have. All of that stuff helps to understand personal injury, workers' comp, and Social Security disability too. The benefit of the medical background is in qualifying for Social Security disability. One of the ways you could qualify is if you meet a specific, what's known as a grid listing within the regulations. And those regulations were developed by medical providers. So they're very medical intensive. There's specific medical tests that they look for. There's specific medical criteria that's needed to meet those listings. So to be able to develop arguments and make arguments, it requires a good understanding of the client's medical records, what the specific listings are, and kind of meshing the two together. Having the medical background coming into these fields was of great benefit to me. And that's part of the reason that I really went towards personal injury in workers' comp, Social Security disability, is because those things, I'm able to leverage my prior knowledge and help benefit people with it. It was something that drew me in to these fields.
Absolutely. You can use both degrees to really combine both experiences.
For sure. One other thing to touch on is with injuries, sometimes when clients are treating, they may not be treating with the best provider for their injuries. So, for instance, if a client comes and they're seeing their family doctor and they've been experiencing tingling down one of their arms as a result of a motor vehicle collision where they've had a sore neck from whiplash and they've been diagnosed with whiplash, they're going through PT, but their arm continues to be tingly, they have numbness, kind of decrease in sensation of it, sometimes pain shooting down the arm. A lot, it could have some type of nerve involvement. There could be, nerve root trauma causing the tingling and numbness in the arm. So, to be able to make recommendations to the client and help them not only understand and develop their injuries better, but also recover from those injuries and get better treatment is kind of what it's all about. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You're still a nurse at heart too, right?
Yep.
And I think too that this medical knowledge probably helps you even in selection of your medical experts. One of the biggest things I see in my other company is attorneys that sort of don't really know what type of expert or specialty they need. I think it would help you with that as well. And so that would lead me to another question. What is it that you, as a medical attorney, look for in a medical expert when you're hiring someone?
Right. So I think that the term itself is kind of self-explanatory. So as a medical expert, you have a specialized knowledge in a specific area or a specific field. And medicine in and of itself is a very specific body of knowledge, but then there's so many different body parts and body systems involved that it's important to ensure that whatever the injury be, you have the right expert to speak to the body system or the body organ that's involved in the injury. So, if you have something that involves musculoskeletal and you have a family practice provider speaking to it, they're not going to be as detailed as an orthopedic or a physiologist on kind of what the injuries are, how they affect the musculoskeletal system, and what treatment might be needed down the road. To understand those specialized bodies of knowledge and where they intersect and where they divide is important to help determining which one would be best to give an opinion on the specific injuries at hand.